Okay, so conductors and insulators, you might see these terms used on the NCFE, which is why we're going to go over them. And partially because we haven't really talked too much about electricity or magnetism, which is what we're kind of going through as quickly as possible today and for the rest of the week, which today is 5:30. Conductors and insulators. So insulators are going to be this kind of portion over here, and conductors are down here. So please don't get confused with which is which. I'm going to be using two different colors, so all my insulators will be in blue. So if you have two different colors, maybe it'll make it a little bit easier for you to kind of differentiate. I'm not really going to color these in all the way. But blue is going to be over in here for the insulators. Right? So looking at this first little section, let me get my little, the barrel, just use the barrel. Insulators are materials that stop the flow of, well, if we're talking about heat, electricity, magnetism, everything else, an insulator, like styrofoam, stops the flow of, you can't really see, maybe I'll slam down, flow of heat. That's going to be too much of a challenge. Hold on, I'll move the bear. My buff bear. Stop the flow of heat or electricity from an atom, so from atom to atom, so from atom to atom, so from one carbon atom to the next, so from one atom to another atom, atom to atom, or molecule to molecule. And remember, a molecule is more than one atom, so for example, H2O. Okay, that's just a basic example of a molecule. While something like an atom would just be carbon. Okay. Insulators are used to protect against the dangerous effects of heat or electricity flowing in a conductor. So an insulator is something that isn't necessarily, it's going to pretty much keep, I can't say that last word, the electrons, the heat from bouncing from one atom to the next. And lots of different examples for the insulators. So I'm going to kind of go up here. Let me see what I have up here. Okay. The best one that I can always think of is just rubber. A rubber tire. Time for art class. Maybe I should do some pencil, because I feel like my pencils, my drawings will kind of be crappy. Rubber tire. Oh, that looks awful, but that's okay. A rubber tire. I tried to make it 3D, and it's not working. Okay, rubber tire. Oh, I think that just made it look worse. A rubber tire is the perfect example. They say if you get hit or your vehicle gets struck by lightning and you're in your car, assuming you're not touching anything, the rubber insulator should be able to kind of prevent the electricity from going to bananas. Another example of an insulator would be wire insulator. So when you look at anything that's covered in wires, you don't actually see the copper wiring. So to prevent that electrical charge from kind of escaping, I guess you could say, the wire insulators are there to kind of prevent it. So this is going to be interesting. Here's my wire. Maybe it's been stripped a little bit, so inside is going to be, bear with me, some copper wires and maybe a little bit of gray. Right. So it is actually going to protect. Maybe I should have a caption. That's a wire. But if you were to strip away the insulator, you would see the conductor underneath. So the conductor would be the copper. The wire, the rubberish material on the outside is going to be the insulator. Okay. So another example would be wood. I think I put my coloring supplies away, which means we're just going to see if I can draw like a log. This is going to probably suck, but that's okay. That's a log. All right, Miss Penny. Yay. What is a good insulator? Also, when I think of things like styrofoam, I'm going to spell this wrong. Yep, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. Styrofoam, okay, which is why if you put something in styrofoam, it's going to help insulate it a lot more than if you put, let's say, hot coffee in a ceramic cup or a glass cup. You can also do things like brick walls. All right, now time for more art class. Here's my little cup. That's styrofoam, by the way. Maybe it's my little Starbucks. Oh, yeah. And here's my little, oh, so annoying. That's a cup, by the way. And the reason why it says stop up here is because it does. It stops or resists. I'm just going to color this shaded in red because it is going to resist the flow of heat and electricity. Right? So insulators are the ones that stop the flow. And they resist it as much as they can. Plastic, a lot of times, is also going to be examples. Rubber is definitely probably the biggest example I can think of, or best example, the best example. All right, so looking down here at conductors, if you've ever heard that something conducts electricity or it's conducive to heat, not like a train conductor. I'll talk about that. So conductors, I'm going to put these kind of in green, okay, because conductors, there go. That's why there's a green or a go sign down here, because they are conducive to heat and electric. They are things that should make sense if they're not insulators, if they're rubber wiring or rubber coating on a wire. What would it be? So example, oh wait, I gotta finish this part up here. Duh. Gosh, these kids are annoying up there. Conductors are materials that, back to the page, that allow, so they allow the flow of heat or electricity, kind of both, heat or electricity from atom to atom, or from molecule to molecule. Conductors are used when the flow of heat or electricity is desirable. So when you want things to get hot or when you want things to conduct electricity. Lots of different examples that you can think of. Anything pretty much copper. So copper wiring, I guess I'll say. Copper wiring, anything that you pull back the insulator on, you're going to see the copper wiring inside of. But think like pennies, they as well will conduct it. A lot of times think of like metal spoons. All right, metal spoons are perfect examples of conductors. I was just joined by Maribel and Eric, who are so jazzed to be here. Metal spoons, which is why if you put a metal spoon in a hot bowl of soup, it's going to get hot as well because it is a conductor. Other examples, aluminum. Got an aluminum paper clip. Another good example would be humans, because we are at 60% water, and water is pretty conducive to electricity. So humans, that's 60-ish% H2O. Here's my little stick figure dying. Oh no, because he's being shocked. That's the electrical current transferring through his body. All right, and that's the end of that one.